is going to be missing a minute of, or lots of minutes of, this year's 3-point contest at the NBA All-Star Game in San Francisco. As we know, last year it was Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu who went against each other, and it was a high-rated contest. Everybody loved it. Social media was trending about it, and it did really well. So the NBA was trying to recreate that magic, and who else to recreate that magic with than Caitlin Clark herself? Well, Caitlin said, thanks, but no thanks. Now, we spoke about this, Alicia and I, in our production meeting over the yesterday, rather. I'm losing the track of the days. We keep talking about how long the month of January is, but we keep talking also about Caitlin Clark and how she's been turning things down. And as you can imagine, she probably wants to rest. It was a whirlwind of a rookie season for her, between just breaking records and endorsement deals and all the conversation that surrounds her stardom. And the WNBA All-Star Game actually is held in Indianapolis this year in July. So it had people talking all throughout the sports world, whether or not Caitlin was saving herself for that, whether or not Caitlin made the right decision by not going against whoever she'd be facing in the 3-point competition at NBA All-Star. And Alicia has her own take that she shared with me. So I'm going to give her the floor before I rebuttal and let her share with you what she shared with me. Alicia, I know what you're
Well,
thinking, but let the
Ashley,
people know what you're thinking.
you already know I'm very passionate about this, and I am 1000% for Caitlin Clark not doing this. I think making the decision to bring it back to the W is amazing on every level. I applaud her. Round of applause. Why not bring those ratings, those eyes, everything to the W platform, to the All-Star game for the WNBA? And not only that, you're bringing it in front of a crowd. You know, she has brought millions of fans into the Indiana Fever. I mean, people have been coming to see her. Why not honor that and do this in front of your home crowd? You know, it is such an amazing moment. And I think that, you know, why not do that? And also, I love the move because she does need some rest. You know, all of those players that came straight from college and literally haven't gotten a moment of rest, she's one of them. You know, getting ready for the W season, which is your season, right? And making sure that you're ready for that and focusing on that, I'm all for it. I think this move is amazing on every level. And I just, you know, what my thoughts are, Ashley, and I don't know how you feel about this. What about an NBA player coming to the WNBA and doing what Sabrina did for the NBA All-Star? Like, what do you think about that?
I think it would be great. Obviously, in July, it's Summer League, and that's where a lot of guys go to support rookies and guys who are trying to make the team and stuff like that. So it depends on when the weekend specifically is, but I absolutely love that idea. I mean, if it was what's good for the goose has to be good for the gander, you know what I mean? And I think that it showcased that merging the two worlds when it makes sense, like something the 3-point competition, or the contest rather, is the perfect way to show that both of these leagues are unified, and both of these leagues respect one another, and both of these leagues have talent that may not be able to compete against each other night in and night out. But if you like to watch Steph Curry shoot 3-pointers, and you can see that Sabrina can hold her own against one of the greatest, if not the greatest, I should say the greatest, because he is the greatest 3-point shooter we've ever seen in the NBA game, then why wouldn't you want to keep that same energy for the W? My whole thing is like, hey, if you can compete with the best in the NBA, that means that you're pretty dang good. And I think that that would shut down a lot of critics who like to still to this day think of the women's game as the inferior game, the inferior league, the inferior sport, the inferior pool of talent. And I think every single time we find a way to merge the two worlds together, show that the level of talent, although not identical, because there's differences between men and women, But when we talk about the fundamentals of basketball, the similarities are more there than they are not. And the more times that we can show that to the masses and the people who are still doubters of the WNBA and the women who are in the WNBA and women basketball players as a whole, I think the further we can chip away at changing the narrative that surrounds women's sports, specifically women's basketball.
I don't think that they should have a guy or a man go to the WNBA 3-point contest. Look, the men, as far as the actual men, not all, but most NBA players, and not just NBA players, but like boys basketball players or men basketball players, right? They don't support the women basketball game. Now you're starting to see them now. But it's like the girls did that. You guys did that. The girls made this popular. You guys stay within. That's why I love the decision so much that Caitlyn said no. And I love the fact that Alicia made, hey, Caitlyn's worried about locking in the gym, training with her trainer, resting her body, watching film, really becoming that next level player, that MVP player. They're locked in on trying to win a championship in a new system with Coach White. You know, this just going and doing the 3-point contest, she doesn't gain anything from it. She's already balling, and she's already the biggest athlete in basketball almost. You're going to watch her regardless. They're going to watch Caitlin Clark regardless of what she does. She went to go play golf. They're lined up. If she goes bowling, it's packed out. Or, you know what I mean? She goes to a different game that has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. She's going to be on TV. She is the biggest. So when it comes to Caitlin Clark doing the 3-point contest, she doesn't really gain much out of it, in my opinion. So as far as everything else goes, the NBA needs Caitlin Clark. Yeah, Sabrina Escu's pretty big too. You know, she's a big name athlete, 100%. I'm not going to deny that. So I'm sure the NBA is going to send an offer to somebody. They're not going to send it to Angel Reese because she's not going to do any type of skill challenge. They're going to probably send it again to Sabrina. Who else are they going to send it to? That's going to be worth the while for the NBA for viewership purposes. Or else, why would the NBA be trying, after all these years, the year that Caitlin Clark, you know what I mean? Why, out of all these years, why would you want to do something now? I know you did it last year, but that's because the women's game was growing because of the college games and what they were doing in college. So, what's the difference now? What are you trying to do now? Why all of a sudden, after all these years, the past 10, 15 years, you didn't invite a girl to do a 3-point shooting contest? You guys didn't think girls could shoot with you guys? And not just shoot, Caitlin Clark could beat one of y'all, if not all you guys. So, I love the decision. She doesn't need that. She'll do the one for the women's league, the WNBA, the league that she's been building up. She'll save her talents and her efforts for that. And I'm sure it will break 5-10 million viewerships or whatever the case is. And she'll have that all aligned up with her sponsors and all of that stuff. It's going to be a big thing. You know, besides that, she doesn't really gain much from doing it in the NBA. The NBA gains a lot more than what she would gain. You know, overall, I mean, it would be great content for us creators. Hey, we love good content. We love great subjects and great headlines. That'd be great for us. So I just don't think that's where the focus is. That's just not where the focus is. And there's a point in here I want to touch on. Let me see.
In front of a crowd, you know, she has brought millions.
No.
I love the move because
Hold on.
she does need some rest, you know.
Make the team and stuff like that. So it depends on when the weekend specifically is. And that's where a lot of guys go to.
Where's that point she
for
was
the
making?
point competition at NBA All-Star.
I think
Let me see.
making the decision to bring it back to the W.
So there's a point in here, but look, the fact that yes, it's going back to the W, that's great. But another girl's probably going to get the offer, whatever the case is. Okay, no problem. You bring it to the W. Let's just have our girls, the best shooters in our league. Alicia Gray won it last year, right? Okay, well, let's shoot out then. I'm the young buck. Bring the veterans or whoever wants to join the 3-point contest, and let's do it. Let's do it. And I think not just her, the whole league understands how big the All-Star game was. It was the biggest All-Star game they had ever. What do you think is going to happen this year in Indiana, where Caitlin Clark is at? What do you think is going to happen? I'm pretty sure Caitlin Clark will do it this year. She's always saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do it. You know, I'll let you know when I'm gonna do it when the time's right." I guarantee you, it's this year. I guarantee you, it's this year. Come on now, let's be real. Indiana, they're gonna be like 30-0 at the time. She's gonna do it this year, unless they're solely focused on a championship. Then she's gonna be getting them as much rest as possible. But I would say 90% chance she does the 3-point contest for the WNBA this year. 100%. So that's really all I got, man. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. I'm out.